Welcome! Today we have the thought experiment of what if, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Newton's third law of motion just didn't exist. Newton's third law of motion dictates that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction to be held. Now the law simply balances out reality for us, so it dictates that if you push against the wall will push against you with an equal amount of force. Now, if you push against the wall with a small amount of force, the wall will push with a small amount of force as well.
So, what if one day you woke up and Newton's third law of physics no longer applied to you? The rest of the world would still obey it. You would be the only one suddenly affected in the universe. Now, technically, there's no answer to this because taking out a fundamental law of physics would collapse the entire system and cause reality to fall apart. However, we tried to imagine some of the things that could happen if the universe didn't implode, explode, combust, and collapse all around you at once. The short story is that you would die. But the long story tells a bunch of different ways that you would die. Scenario 1. As you are lying in bed, you are exerting force on it. However, without Newton's third law, it is not applying an equal force back onto you, which means there's an unbalanced force pair. Because your force is so much greater and it has nothing protecting it, you would shatter the bed. From this, you would fall through the bed and continue falling through the ground until you reach the core of the earth, which would melt you from its intense heat. Scenario 2. Instead of breaking through the bed, you would phase through it. Once again, your bed doesn't push back on you, creating an unbalanced force pair, but it could be possible that you would phase through instead of shattering it. Once again, you would fall through the earth and die at the core. Also, it would make sense that objects with less mass than you would shatter from your force, but you wouldn't be able to break larger objects with more mass than you, and so you would phase through those. Scenario 3. If you manage to get out of bed without breaking it or phasing through it, when you put your feet on the ground, that would apply force to the entire Earth. This time, the Earth can't push back because you don't follow Newton's third law. That means that you would knock it out of place a little bit. This could have two effects. One is that you would knock the Earth out of orbit, stranding you in space, which usually would kill you. The other option is that because you can no longer create friction, you would slide across everything. Therefore, when you knock the planet away, even a little, you don't catch on its surface when you land, which means the rotation of the Earth would catch up to you at 1,000 miles an hour. So whatever is to your west would suddenly rush towards you and crush you. Scenario 4. If you manage to survive all this, you could easily be killed by almost any object. Since an absence of the third law also means that you don't apply equal forces to objects that touch you, you are pretty much unprotected from anything. Following earlier logic, this would mean that objects with less mass, like rain or a pencil, would phase through you, and objects with more mass and force would shatter you. This means you could be pulverized by wind or torn to shreds by rainfall. If that wasn't enough, here's a few short bonus scenarios. You can't eat or drink anything since you can't pick up objects, and if you somehow did that, they would just phase through your teeth, mouth, and stomach anyways, and you would die from starvation or thirst. Also, your blood would stream unhindered at high speeds, which would cause you to explode from your heart and veins.
This would, of course, cause you to catch on fire and die. Now, please like, comment, share, give your criticism, your hate, and everything. You have to give credit to Minute Physics and Minute Earth for the idea for this video, and thank you very much.